Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Shabbat show, another week. Incredible just how quickly the summer is starting to go on us. This is a special Shabbat because this Shabbat is called Shabbat Chazon. It is the Shabbat that is the one right before what is arguably one of the most impactful, serious, and important days of the year, which is taking place this week, which is Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av is the day in which we commemorate the destruction of the temple. And what we're doing in Tisha B'Av is not going backwards and saying we once had a building and now it's burnt. The temple represented a time in our lives where we felt godliness everywhere, where we lived under a certain measure of protection, where we were able to interact with God in a much different way, where the world operated in a much different way. The destruction of the temple led us to a world that was a little darker, where he was a little more hidden, where there was a little bit less for us to see in an open way. And it ushered into an era that we've been going on for almost 2,000 years, where the Jewish people have encountered challenge upon challenge upon challenge. And with God inside us and God still with us, but not as clear as he was before, we had no choice but to dig into who we are and find a way to persevere. And that's what today's all about. This show is a show about what you do from challenge, standing up after the fall, because fall, we all do. This is a period of time that has been very challenging for people, whether it's a challenge in loss of health or life, loss of employment, a challenge in terms of loss of freedom and mobility, people living in different conditions, the inability to see loved ones. It's been challenge. Some had it a lot, are having it harder than others. But what we want to talk about today is, how do you persevere? Where does it come from? Where do you draw it from? How come some people seem to fall and never get up? And some people seem to fall and get up and get up and get up and keep on getting up. That's what we're going to talk about. We got incredible guests. This is a great, awesome, power-packed show with wisdom that I know when we walk away, we're going to have some real tools to put in our pockets, meet some real heroes that have really faced challenge and have overcome it, hear from world-class psychologists, meet incredible people from all over. The show is being sponsored by a great company. Award-winning couture bridal gowns, Paloma Blanca's flattering and inspiring designs have garnered a number of prestigious bridal industry awards. Canadian-made Paloma Blanca has generated worldwide acclaim and respect within the bridal industries. Paloma Blanca is our sponsor. Look them up. They're incredible, and they can most definitely be your solution to your bridal needs. We've got a great show. We got Kahoot coming up. Check that out. Get ready. Remember, go to kahoot.it to get yourself ready for the Kahoot. We got Dr. David Lieberman here, a world-renowned psychologist. We've got Judge Richard Bernstein, a wonderful, incredible, inspiring human being, the only blind Supreme Court Justice in the United States of America. We'll be meeting a wonderful woman, Elizabeth Leah. We've got an incredible source of perseverance and power in Mrs. Racheli Frankel coming up. We've got Jamie Geller coming up. We've got some new music videos. We've got some inspirational videos. It's a power-packed show. Excited to have you on and excited to get into it. But before we do, I want to say one or two more things. Number one, there's a great new website that was launched. It's called theshabbatshow.com. This show now has its own website. I was looking at it all week this week because what it has, if you go to the website, check it out, theshabbatshow.com. Two B's, Shabbat, two B's. If you have, what's incredible is on the middle of that page is a counter down to the show. And I find myself checking out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night. I'm like, it's almost there, almost there, almost there. But it's amazing. It's got all the videos from the past. It's got, remember time I say, that was a great clip. There's a full video coming up. It's on the site. It's got past shows. You really want to check it out, theshabbatshow.com. And I believe, I don't know if it's this week, but definitely in the future, you'll be able to stream the show live from there as well. So check that out. Remember the one-on-ones? I don't know if the Project Inspire team wants to throw a flyer up for one-on-ones now, but if you remember, one-on-ones is one of the most impactful things that Project Inspire is doing. They are literally connecting people from all over to learn about Jewishism. Here it is. Learn what you want and when you want. 97,000, just text 97,000, text one-on-one, the way it is in the screen here, 97,000. We got a great show coming up this week. So this week coming up is Tisha B'Av. Thursday is Tisha B'Av. The fast is a 25-hour fast. So whether you're fasting or not, what we have been doing for years now, me and Rabbi Yossi Friedman, the executive director of Project Inspire, Rabbi Yossi Friedman and I have been hosting a show together for years. And so you check it out. It's a live show. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's a long time. We've got incredible guests. If you're fasting, it is a great way to end the fast with us. And if you're not fasting, it's a great way to be part of the fast as we get to those final hours that are so critical. So check that out this week. You can go to projectinspire.com or my Facebook page to see it as well. Okay, before we get going, I want to do a couple of shout outs just to say hello to some people. Mark Hoffman, Shabbat Shalom. To Yosef Doferel from Passaic, Shabbat Shalom. To the Simons of Phoenix, Shabbat Shalom. To the Popels in Miami, Shabbat Shalom. Ozzy from Baltimore, Shabbat Shalom to you. And we've got, okay, let's begin. Let's get this program going over here. We got our first guest coming up. Our first guest is a part of an incredible organization that I've been talking about a lot here. I think is really an incredible, one of the greatest organizations that the Jewish people have. With 320 branches and they're across 30 countries, Olami is inspiring students with Jewish wisdom around the world and introducing them to the beauty of Shabbat. Okay, here comes our first incredible, awesome guest. Elizabeth Leah Kadunovsky is an integrative nutrition health coach, Chicago native, and proud business school graduate from the University of Illinois in Champaign. With a background in accounting and finance and a deep passion in health, writing, and people, she's a regular contributor for the Huffington Post, the Elite Daily, Thought Catalog, and OI Chicago. She's also a blogger behind ElizabethLeah.com. Check it out, a personal health and lifestyle blog about nutrition and psychology. Elizabeth Leah, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
What an honor to have you on. So great that you're here and you're with us. Thank you for all that you do. Talk to us a little bit about who you are. Give us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess where I could start is I was born in Minsk, Belarus. So my family immigrated here when I was 2. And so I grew up very secular, and my family fled Belarus because of anti-Semitism. So they didn't, it was like discouraged to even practice anything back there. So growing up here, I really was exposed to the culture, but again, very just traditions, like cultural traditions, not really much of the understanding of it. Not until I went to University of Illinois, actually, in Urbana-Champaign, did I get more involved with the Jewish community. I joined a Jewish sorority. I was a part of Hillel and went to Chabad events. So it was really there that I realized we were a minority. I know I'm just so lucky to say that, but I grew up, my junior high was 90% Jewish. My high school was 60%. So the area was just very, very Jewish. Wasn't until I went to school that I realized we are a minority, and I kind of gravitated towards people like me. And by chance just realized that most of my friends just happened to be Jewish, and I just felt comfortable in that setting. And then fast forward to now, I'm a part of J-Life. Shout out to Rabbi Frankel and J-Life in Chicago. And, I have done a bunch of Shabbats now and been to a Shabbaton. So just getting more involved in the community, and I've loved it thus far. So yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that journey, that experience, that introduction, what Shabbat means to you, what impact it's having on you, why when you're engaged in it, you want to do more of it. Share with us a little bit of the inner feelings as you come up against the learning Shabbat and those experiences.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of it is just that I love people. So anything that, garners conversations with people, anything that involves just, recounting the week and talking about maybe a lesson that we've learned here or there, especially around food, I think there's just no better place to do that. So I've been to, a bunch of Shabbat dinners, like I mentioned, and it was just my favorite thing, to sit down, to not, be on any kind of technology, to be disconnected, but so connected at the same time with everybody around the table. I just, I think it's the best thing, honestly. And so for me, because I grew up so secular, right, I had to kind of learn like baby steps, the candle lighting and all of the prayers and kind of the different events within just Shabbat alone. So I started learning more about it. And with my rabbi, he even said to me, he's like, well, let's start small. Like, can you just like light candles? And for the time that the candles are lit, you're not on your phone, you're not on technology. And I started to do that. And I just really enjoyed that feeling that I got. And ever since then, really, I've just been connected again to more people that are Jewish and have learned from kind of their experiences and what they do to make Shabbat special. And I've incorporated that into my own routine. So, yeah.
Amazing. Talk to us a little bit about challenge. You had some career changes, challenges you've gone through. What do you feel that the spirituality, the Shabbat, that area of it contributes to people that are going through challenge in life?
Yeah. So I have my own personal story, I guess, with that. So I'm a holistic health coach today, but that was not my education and not my profession for the better half of a decade. My background's in accounting and finance. And so I did accounting and finance and tech consulting for many years and got really burnt out to the point that I actually physically was burnt out. I ended up in the hospital for
Wow.
4 days with GI issues. And when I was talking to the doctor, they couldn't find any underlying like physical issues with that or physical sources of that, I should say, other than it being stress related. So I had 4 days in the hospital with a tube down my throat to really like understand and reassess my life. Like, what direction did I want to take this? What meant the most to me? And with that, I decided to go into health coaching. It was something that I thought about a few years back, but was too scared to make the jump at the time. But I knew that I had no other choice. I needed to do it now. So I made that jump, and my journey with Judaism in the last year and my involvement with Shabbos and all that, it's been a parallel journey. So with me getting into health coaching, with me starting a business, I've also gotten I've leaned in to just my Jewish identity and the different traditions of Shabbat. And so, so with that, I've just kind of learned to let go and, I don't know, be more spiritual, lean in, like I said. So it's been a very personal journey for me. So that's why I'm so honored to be on the show today, because I just feel like this topic just resonates with me so much. So, yeah.
Amazing. Well, Elizabeth Leah, it's so nice to meet you. Continue journeying to the greatest heights that I'm sure you will get to, and you should continue to shine your light wherever you go.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
It's our honor. Shabbat Shalom to you, and thanks so much for joining us on the show. That was Elizabeth Leah. Incredible. This is how awesome are our people when we have people like this, and this is the future. And so shout out to Elizabeth Leah, shout out to all the teachers and Olami and everybody else who was a part of and will continue to be a part of her and her journey. A couple more shout outs here to Shiri and Mark from Mountain View, California. Shabbat Shalom. Hananya Minster, Shabbat Shalom. Passaic, New Jersey, Arya Mack, Shabbat Shalom. So those a couple more there. Again, if you have a Zoom link, send it to the people that you think would want, because for some reason people have not been getting Zoom links, but it's being broadcasted across all the other platforms, thank God. So we're doing great over here, and thanks so much for joining us. And we're about to enter into this incredible day, and really one of the tragedies of, I think, where we are right now, almost 2,000 years from the destruction of the temple, is that we forgot. It doesn't really matter to us so much. We've gotten used to life without a temple. We're okay without the temple. And we've got this great video that just shows just maybe a perspective of maybe what it was like back then, maybe the way we should be a little bit more today. Check this out. incredible video, and it really sheds light into the pain that we should be feeling. We've gotten used to this life. We've gotten used to a world where there's no presence of God manifest in a visible way anywhere in the world. We've gotten used to God being hidden and us hoping that nobody kills us, versus God being manifest and us walking with a certain pride of what we are and what we have. That's what Tisha B'Av stands for. That's what we're mourning for real. We've been challenged, but going through challenges has its strategies. And we thought to really bring out some of the greatness of how to get through challenge. We went to an individual who faced it in the most horrific way. Before I announce our next guest, if you're watching this and you want to share the Zoom link, it's 921-2933-8130. 921-2933-8130. That's the Zoom link for those who want to check in on Zoom. If you remember about 6 years ago, it was the summer 6 years ago, the Jewish world was in disbelief. 3 boys were kidnapped coming home from school. Remember that? I was on a trip then. 200 guys. Some of you may be watching right now. We actually went out to a restaurant, and it just happened to be 10 feet from a IDF training ground where they were training the soldiers, or they were letting them go find the boys. It was incredible. The country was in shock, and the prayers were flowing like it was unreal. The boys were found murdered. And one of the boys, his name was Naftali Frankel. His soul should be right now up in heaven right now, fighting for us, for only good things. His mother, Racheli, immediately was a source of comfort and inspiration to millions of people. This wasn't a family crisis. This was a Jewish crisis. And she has since been this incredible source to the world. I had a chance this week to sit down with Miss Racheli Frankel and talk to her about how she got through this. Check this out. Thank you so much for joining us. It's an honor to have you on the show. And I guess the question that I'm thinking, and I'd love to get your perspective on, is standing up after a fall. Someone that experiences a tragedy, someone that experiences something that's unexpected, that could literally knock someone right off their lives. How does a person do it? How does a person continue on in a positive way after getting a massive challenge?
So, Shabbat Shalom. And I heard wonderful things about your program, so it's an honor to be here. And I hear there are a couple of people with us in our little Kabbalat Shabbat here.
Yes, there are a few people watching.
A few, okay. The truth is, you know, nobody becomes professional at this. Nothing's planned, and it's not like you bought into a deal and you were you deal with things as they come, right? I can tell you what worked for me. And first of all, I must say it's you're not alone. I mean, there's so much support out there, and sometimes you have to open a little door to let the support in. The fact that there's so many people that are just there to hug you. I mean, Corona hugs, but it still doesn't mean that you're capable of accepting it. So some of the work is being able to accept what the support that the world is offering you. I can say we experienced the most unbelievable hug that, you know, I tend to be a little bit cynical, but I lost the ability to be cynical about what the Jewish world can offer you, and what your community can offer you, and what your family can offer you. But you really need to open within your place, the place that says, I'll be always there out helping people, but I'm allowed to accept. I'm allowed to you know, we talk a lot about vulnerability these days, but difficult times like these are not times to build these tremendous walls that have been protecting me all the time. It's time to be weak, to accept. So
well, it's such a great point that you make. So many times in life, people feel that they feel bad accepting, they feel weak accepting. You're making such an astute point in that many times the ability to accept is part of the strength. It's part of the recognition that this is how I'm going to get through it. And sometimes it's a kindness to other people who want to be part of it.
Exactly. That's exactly what I want to say. It's not like now I'm only accepting, a different time I'll only give. It's life is both, right? It's about and sometimes being willing to accept is the biggest gift you can give all these people that are just dying to reach out to you. So that's a big deal, and it's a present to the world to be able to be in that place too. And besides, you juggle it. It's not like you're only doing that. You're doing both. So that's one side of it. When a tragedy happens or something, you know, sad, so people might come into a shiva home and look the people in the eye and put a hand on their shoulder and say, "Tiyu chazakim," be strong. And I always feel like, sometimes I actually do it, but I feel like, you know, running to them and saying, "Don't be strong, be flexible." Okay.
Wow.
Because there's something about strength that it's either, you know, it's binary. It's either I'm going to break, yes, I'm going to crack, now I'm gone. But flexible means that you have room in your life for everything, you know, for the joy, for the sorrow, for the pain, for the wonderful things that happen. It doesn't happen overnight, but it's when you understand that you don't have to let go of your hardship in order to experience joy, for instance. Life is about, you know, life is complex. You do everything together. So finding room in your life, and this has a lot to do with grieving. It's not only this or only that. It's everything. But the one thing that is most useful for me, and then I'll let you talk, is and this doesn't necessarily have to do with you know, with tragedies. It has to do with hardship also, challenges, is the times when you tell yourself, I can feel pain, I don't have to become my pain. I can feel sorrow, I don't have to become my sorrow. And the truth is, it works for, I can feel anxiety, I don't have to become my anxiety. I can feel pressure, I don't have to become my pressure. In my inner landscape, there's so much more. There's, you know, there's the pains and the blessings and the successes and the failures and the expectations and the dreams and the disappointments, and it's all there. And it feels like a person could choose to you know, to take this bucket full of black paint and spill it all over their life. I guess people wouldn't be judgmental to them, but I can only speak for myself. To me, it felt stupid. It felt like a terrible ingratitude to all the blessings we have in our life, and we have so many blessings in our life. So it's like, if you take a metaphor from photography, you can focus on your wound or on your pain or on your hardship, and it will fill up your frame easy. But you can take the picture of your life with a wide lens, and sitting right there, it's not going anywhere, but you get the full scope. And you could, there's room for the blessings, and there's room for the joys, and there's room for other stuff. And yeah, so that's what works for me. But sometimes there's a sense of betrayal. If I let go of this, of the pain for a minute, and I'll notice something else in my life.
Yeah.
And it's not, it doesn't work like that. It's
Very big point. I think people do feel that. I think people feel that if I allow myself to experience joy, then I will have betrayed the thing that is causing me the pain.
Yeah.
That was the just a piece. We can't show you the whole thing because it'll be 25-30 minutes long. For those who want to watch the whole piece, you can go to the ShabbatShow.com starting next week, and you'll see the entire interview there. It was really incredible. And one of the things that Mrs. Frankel said that I think is so critical here to take away from this is this idea of that lens that she speaks about. Many times when people go through challenge, the lens sort of like circle is right around the challenge. That's all that's in the lens. And it becomes nearly impossible to go through that because all you're focusing on is the challenge. And Racheli Frankel, who went through such a horrific challenge, was able to widen the lens. It's not portraying the person that's the cause of the pain. It just allows a lot of that power to come in. So it was powerful to speak to her. If you want to watch the entire episode, please do so. Just a couple more Shabbat Shaloms. I'm telling you what we're doing next. We're going to go to Kahoot next. We're going to play a game. And so if I can ask the Project Inspire team to start doing Kahoot, we're going to give everybody an extra few minutes today, and here's why. Because my mom said that she needs another few seconds to find the Kahoot link and to make sure she gets the code in. And if my mom needs the code, like, can you imagine? I'm a Jewish, she's a Jewish mom. You got to give her an extra minute. So Project Inspire, please give me an extra minute here. This week is 539113. I'm going to do some Shabbat Shaloms as Kahoot starts up over here. Here we go. Shabbat Shalom to the Schaefers in Thornhill. Let's go from Shabbat Shalom to Ayala Epstein in Toronto, Canada. Shabbat Shalom to Lawrence and Hillary Hess in Fairlawn. Shabbat Shalom to the Schaefers in Thornhill. Shabbat Shalom to Yosef Doferl from Passaic, to Abe Gutman, to Rivka Mansour. Shabbat Shalom from Deal, New Jersey. One of my favorite places, Deal, New Jersey. On my Facebook page, for those who are watching it on my Facebook page, thanks so much for doing it. Remember, Kahoot is now, if you're listening from any other platform, 539113. Mommy, 539113. Shabbat Shalom to Rochelle Jacob Sullivan. Shabbat Shalom to Michael Gerd. Shabbat Shalom to Deborah Cohen, Carolyn Feder, Shmuel Shayowitz. Shabbat Shalom to you. Thanks so much, Ruth Kramer Peretz. Liran, my brother Liran. Shabbat Shalom to Barbary Furman. Shabbat Shalom to everybody who is on all the different accounts. I'd love to be able to see everybody. We'll give everybody 1 or 2 more seconds for those that are coming in now to the Kahoot game. 539113. I know it's getting competitive. 539113 for those that are. If you want to do it on your app, it's kahoot.it. It may make sense if you're coming on the show. For those who are here for the first time, welcome. We play Kahoot every single week. I want to make one really nice announcement for those that are watching the show. Thank God, Baruch Hashem, should only continue and grow. We surpassed 10,000 viewers last week. So thank you so much for your viewership, and please feel free to share the show with your friends and family. It'd be great to have more and more and more of our brothers and sisters joining together every 5:30 to bring in Shabbat together. Okay, I can't wait any longer, guys. I'm going to wait 1 more minute. Okay, let's just do it because it's too much. You can't wait that long. Kahoot, let's get rolling. First question. Here goes. How many years ago was the second temple in Jerusalem destroyed? How many years ago was the second temple in Jerusalem destroyed? If you've been paying attention to me, you will know that answer from earlier in the show. 1006, 1950, 3300, 5780. How many years ago was the second temple? Remember, there were 2 temples destroyed, the Babylonians and the Romans. The Romans were number 2. Well, I don't know if that's whatever. How much I just shared. Let's get through this. Okay, here we go. Very good. Most people got this one right. Let's see how we do. Victor Novak, Aviva, Phoenix. Phoenix is in the game. Ozzy and RM. A lot of our players are back. Okay, next one. Which nation destroyed the second temple? Hope you've been paying attention to me. Which nation destroyed the Greeks, the Romans, the Philistines, and the Egyptians? Which nation destroyed the second temple? The Greeks, the Romans, the Philistines, or the Egyptians? "12 seconds left. If you want some more Shabbat Shaloms, go to the Zoom link or you go to my Facebook. We'll get as many Shabbat Shaloms in as we can. Here it goes. The Romans. Very good. For those who said the Greeks, that was earlier. It was during the Hanukkah miracle, but they had beat the Greeks, kept the second temple, and the Romans ultimately destroyed it. Okay, let's see how we do. Let's see what our leaderboard looks like. Aviva to the top. Phoenix is right behind her. RM, MFAM, and a Victor Novak. Okay, let's see what we got. Question number 3. How is the temple referenced in Jewish scripture? The Hebrew word for the temple. Beit HaMikdash, Beit Cholim, Beit HaKnesset, or Beit Shemesh. Beit HaMikdash, Beit Cholim, Beit HaKnesset, or Beit Shemesh. How is the temple referred to in Jewish scripture in Hebrew? For those who are interested, Yossi Friedman and I will be live 6:30 on Tisha B'Av night. Here comes the answers. Very good. Beit HaMikdash. Awesome. We got a great crowd rocking over here. Let's see how we do. Aviva continues to lead. RM right behind her. Phoenix is almost there. Never count out Phoenix. That's a rule. MFAM and Shiri. Okay, guys, last one. This is the curveball. Who is this famous singer exiting the Western Wall in 1971? Who is this famous singer exiting the wall 1971? David Bowie, Frank Sinatra, Mick Jagger, Bob Dylan. You can find another pattern in that group. There's something else that is unique about the answer, not just if you can recognize him in the picture. Let's see if you can figure out what makes him unique. Which of these things are not like the others for those who grew up in a time of Sesame Street? Which of these things? Very good. It was Bob Dylan. Also, I believe the only Jew on the page over here. Bob Dylan, 1971, the Kotel. Okay, let's see how we did. MFAM in third. Phoenix, Arizona. A strong silver. And our first place winner is RM. Excellent job, everybody. RM. I wonder who RM is. RM should identify him or herself so that I could understand some of the players here. But thanks, everybody, for playing Kahoot. Remember, your prizes are available at projectinspire.com. We've been giving out prizes, for real. I believe we have. So check out projectinspire.com to get your prizes. Our next guest, incredible individual. I'm telling you, this show, thank God, we've been getting some great guests. Judge Richard Bernstein is the only blind Supreme Court justice in the United States of America. But it's not just that. He is so much more. And it is an incredible honor that we had a chance to interview him. And he's got such great words to share. Check out a little bit about Judge Bernstein and the interview.
Being born blind, I am truly blessed. It's the most painful beginnings that lead to the most triumphant of finishes. Adversity, hardship, and challenge gives rise to pain, purpose, but most importantly, connection. An easy life does not always correspond to a good one.
And I guess really my first question really is challenge. You know, I think when people approach challenge, they try to downplay challenge. They try to be like, oh, come on, just think positively. But, you know, someone like yourself who is constantly pushing yourself harder, you're constantly going to challenge yourself.
Right.
What is your approach to how to deal with challenge, grapple with challenge, and grow from challenge?
The way that I tend to approach it, and again, I can only kind of speak for myself, is I tend to try to take from those experiences and learn from those, but not learn in the sense of, okay, become more knowledgeable. For me, it's more of a sense of, okay, what can I do with these experiences that allows for me to find a greater sense of mission, or a greater sense of purpose, or a greater sense of focus, or a tremendous sense of passion. I think what happens is that people that go through life and have experienced some genuine setback, I'm talking about real loss, I'm talking about health challenges, I'm talking about genuine pain. What sometimes happens is that if you're able to kind of take from that and focus your anger and your heartbreak and your disdain and your frustration and say that, okay, I now have this experience, but I am going to do something with this experience. I am going to marshal these emotions and I am going to do something about it to make things better, to really have a positive impact, and to lead to real, genuine, and lasting change. I think that's the key. It's funny because people like me who are blind, and I also went through a catastrophic accident where I was hit by a bicyclist in Central Park and spent over 10 weeks at Mount Sinai Hospital, basically having to learn how to walk again and having to learn how to, rebuild my life. And I've done 24 marathons and a full Ironman. But at the time of my accident, I had done 17 marathons and a full Ironman. And then I had to learn how to walk again and had to learn how to navigate through the pain of such a tremendous setback. But just a quick example of kind of how I used your question, which was, while I was in the hospital, I actually filed a federal lawsuit against New York City. Now, I wasn't asking for any money. I didn't want a dime, a nickel, or a cent from the city. I wanted nothing from the city. But what I did want from them was I wanted them to make changes to Central Park. And these were changes that the city could easily make that would help to prevent injuries like this from happening in the future. It's not going to be foolproof, but this was a situation where you could literally make things better and safer for all people to use and enjoy in the city because of inertia wasn't doing it. And what was funny is that I actually filed the lawsuit from my hospital bed. I was in horrible pain at Mount Sinai, but I felt this was so important that I filed the litigation from literally Mount Sinai Hospital. And the reason that I did that, and it was funny because I think the doctors and nurses kind of understood that this was actually important to my recovery. Removed that feeling of just this kind of sense of, oh, wow, that this was like just a sad thing that happened, or this was just a sad state of affairs, or a sad thing of chance. And instead, it allowed me to kind of say, okay, I had this sense of like inner strength that kind of emerged as a result because I was able to say that, all right, I am now going to have to live my life totally different. I've been born blind, I've been an athlete, now I have to live with chronic pain for the rest of my days. But I was able to say, I am going to experience all that, and I am going to live with all that. But as a result of that, Central Park is going to be made safer. Central Park is going to be made better. Yes, are people still going to get injured? Yes, are there still going to be accidents? Yes, are these things going to happen? Absolutely. But am I able to take a situation and make it a little bit better? And if I can say that I took a situation and made it better than it was, then ultimately what that does is when I wake up in the morning and I have to face a tremendous chronic pain that comes with this injury, I'm able to say that it was for a purpose, or it was for a reason, and it was for something bigger than myself.
It's an incredible approach, and it sounds to me that what I'm hearing you say is recovery almost feels like you're going backwards. It almost feels like you were once something.
Right.
Now that if someone goes through challenge, they've been taken off what they were once, so they have to recover and get back to what they had. And that doesn't always happen. What I'm hearing you say is recovery really is sort of filling in the past and making up that which was lost. What you're saying is that is not the approach. It's not about recovery. It's not about going back to normal.
Right.
It's about going forward to greatness. It's saying, okay, this happened.
Yep.
Now I got to adapt. I got to make the world better. And there's going to be something that I may now be aware of, appreciative of, that I may not have ever had before. So there is a sense of loss that is going to be the price for my new adaptation. And that mentality it makes a person more resilient because they're always moving forward into a world that they didn't know about before.
That's exactly right. And the most important thing is you have to mourn for your old life, and you have to mourn for the life that you once had, or the person that you once had, or the way that you lived, or the way you experienced things. You have to mourn for it. But after you kind of are able to kind of work through that mourning phase and you're able to get to the acceptance point, then it's about trying to channel it and then saying, okay, I'm going to now focus on adaptation, and then figuring out through that adaptation what your next step and what your next move is going to be. And then what you tend to find is that's usually where Hashem will tend to help you, because an opportunity will present itself, a circumstance will come along, a situation will be encountered that your new life experience is now going to be just perfect for. And it's from that experience that it's going to kind of take you into a different direction, and a direction that you hadn't anticipated or counted on, but a direction that's going to really move you in a very powerful way.
That was a clip of the interview with Judge Bernstein. If you want to watch the whole thing, you can go to theshabbatshow.com. And he said so much in the larger interview that I want to just make sure it was clear what he really was getting at. He's incredibly articulate. This idea of what he sitting at your hospital bed was really the driving force of this concept of when something happens, we don't go backwards. Where can I find good? Where can I make the world better? How do I adapt? How do I mourn, adapt, and make better? There's a lot of research behind this, and I'm sure Dr. Lieberman we're gonna have this conversation coming up pretty soon. But it's a great approach towards life, which is you don't go back. You don't go back to normal. You go forward to something bigger. And sometimes the thing that's coming your way is even bigger than that which you anticipated. And if you go to the full interview, you're going to see he speaks about this concept, about many times in life after you're done recovering, if you will, and adapting, you now go back into your life and see an opportunity you didn't see before. A couple more Shabbat Shaloms here to Miriam Daba. Shabbat Shalom to you. Rivka Miller, Shabbat Shalom to you, and congrats. So Shabbat Shalom to a few more times. And of course, we're up to our partner, Jamie Gell. Everybody loves Jamie. Every single week we have the opportunity to see one of her incredible creations. So without further ado, Jamie Gell.
Thank you, Charlie, so much. And hello, everybody. I hope you are all well. These are such challenging times for all of us. My boys actually happen to be in quarantine right now, along with the rest of their school. And we, as the Jewish people, find ourselves in the midst of the 9 days. an acute time of mourning where historically we do not eat chicken or meat or drink wine during this time. So we, in the kosher culinary world, are tasked with coming up with creative ways to help you feed your family. So this week I'm sharing with you zoodles, zucchini noodles, zoodle Alfredo. So what this is a low carb but super creamy, decadent way to kind of get in those like cheesy pasta cravings. We originally developed it both for Passover and for the 9 days at the request of people who are looking for low carb ideas. In addition to fish, this is a great recipe to add to your repertoire, not just now, but always. I hope to see you on the other side of the 9 days where we have reason to celebrate, and I want to wish you all a Shabbat Shalom.
Using a good quality julienne peeler, julienne cut your zucchini into thin strips, just like spaghetti. Place the julienne zucchini in a single layer on top of a double layer of paper towels and let it air dry for 4 hours. The zucchini emits a lot of water when heated, so you don't want to skip this step. The air drying will keep it closer in consistency to pasta. Over medium heat, pour about a tablespoon of olive oil into a large nonstick sauté pan. Add the julienne zucchini and cook, tossing the strands occasionally with tongs, but don't overcook it, and set aside. Heat 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter over low to medium heat. When the butter is melted and looks just foamy, add a large clove of finely chopped garlic and 1 teaspoon of finely grated lemon zest. Cook for about 1 minute until the garlic has softened. Whisk in 2 teaspoons of potato starch and cook for about 1 minute. Gradually pour in 1 cup of low-fat milk, whisking the ingredients constantly until the sauce is smooth and has thickened. Add 2 ounces, which is a 1/4 cup of Philadelphia cream cheese, cut into 1/2-inch chunks. And the Philadelphia cream cheese really gives it that great texture that you're looking for in a pasta dish. 4 tablespoons of Romano cheese and 4 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. Whisk the ingredients until the cheeses are completely blended into the sauce. Stir in 3 tablespoons of fresh chopped parsley. Add the sauteed zucchini spaghetti to the sauce and toss just until well coated. This is a super duper delicious riff on classic fettuccine Alfredo, but much lighter than pasta. With a little bit of fresh parsley on top, fresh cracked black pepper, and this is when I say I love my job.
Thank you, Jamie, for that. As always, an incredible recipe. That's part of our custom starting from last week and entering into Tisha B'Av that we refrain from that meat. We're allowed to have as much meat as we want on Shabbat, which is always a period of time that includes no mourning whatsoever. So thank you, Jamie, for that insightful, and great recipe during this period of time. For more great videos, go to jamiegeller.com, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok at Jamie Geller and at Julish by Jamie. Our next guest is an incredible guy. Dr. David Lieberman, PhD, is a noted speaker and an award-winning author with a renowned insight into the human condition. His 11 books, it's 11 books, which have been translated into 26 languages, include 2 New York Times bestsellers. He has sold more than 3 million copies worldwide. Besides blending the wisdom of Torah with cutting-edge research, Dr. Lieberman's writings and lectures captivate both scholar and layman alike and are enjoyed by people at all levels with all backgrounds. Dr. Lieberman, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Charlie. It is an amazing show. Mom, it's really, first off, I am so inspired. I also feel like the biggest wuss in the world hearing from Mrs. Frankel and Judge Bernstein about the experiences. And, you know, it's like, you know, we go to the bagel store and they don't have our everything bagel and they give us garlic instead. And we're ready to, you know, I took so many notes while they were speaking. I had my own notes and I'm going to throw them out because what they said was so much more valuable. And maybe I could offer just a psychological perspective on it, but they have the recipe.
Awesome. So tell us the approach that you would, from your mind, how do you see what they spoke about? Because you'll be able to articulate for us things that we may be missing.
Sure. Well, look, I think they articulated just so amazingly. So just a couple of things here, like Mrs. Frankel spoke about the importance of support. And, you know, we have a mitzvah to carry someone else's burden, to share their obligations and to ease their pain. From a psychological perspective, when a person is in pain, it's very isolating. and we feel alone. When you connect with that person, and you, as you know, offer a shoulder to lean on, to cry on, to touch, you build a connection, a bridge. And whatever pain was exacerbated by isolation or loneliness is alleviated. So when you reach out and get support, you are transforming, you're diluting some of that pain, because whatever isolation was adding to that pain, it now gets alleviated insofar as you have a connection to someone else. So from a psychological perspective, isn't it amazing? It's like the idea about support and about, you know, Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon, the wisest of men. I think you come in a close second, by the way, just so you know. If it comes up on the next trivia question.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be on the board. Are you kidding me? I'm on the planet. So I appreciate your kindness.
Right. So he says a problem shared is a problem halved. So the therapeutic approach, you know, in therapy, you can go to therapists. He may be lousy. A lot of them are. But, you know, simply talking it out can be very, very effective. And that's, you know, that's something she spoke about. She also spoke about the idea about being strong. And she said, you know, she preferred the idea about flexibility. And I think if you pull back the lens, we'll see, as, you know, as you certainly well know, I know you speak about this, that, you know, to be flexible is to be strong. If you have a tree that doesn't bend, you've got two options. Either it doesn't move or it's going to break. So, you know, and also even with the human body, the more flexible the spine is, the stronger we are, physically speaking. More flexible muscles are, the stronger they are. So that flexibility, the ability to zig and zag and to meet life's challenges and to embrace the unknown is a flexibility that really is part and parcel, something that gives us a tremendous amount of strength, knowing that if we need to shift, we're going to be okay. We're not locked into this narrow, myopic focus.
Amazing, amazing. What did you take from Judge Bernstein?
The Judge Bernstein was so amazing. You know, he speaks a lot about, you know, finding purpose and about finding meaning. And, you know, he's the kind of guy who, no matter what's going on, like, you just want to give it to him, because you know, visually impairment aside, he will get it done. And he, you know, spoke about what Victor, I'm drawing about, is it Victor Frankl? I'm sorry? Frankl, yeah, okay. Yeah, Man's Search for Meaning, about, you know, giving purpose and about giving a definition, refining what it is you're going through, taking that pain and using as a catalyst, a platform. While he was in chronic pain, and it's awful to hear he still is in acute pain, is while he's in pain, he says, you know what, let me go ahead and take this, galvanize it. And so many of us would go ahead and wrap up in this blanket of self-pity and say, you know what, I'm done. You know what, I fought the good fight, but it's time to call it a day, right? Whereas he says, no, taking off this blanket, you know what, I'm moving forward. I'm going to use this as momentum, as fuel to do something positive. And then so he gives meaning to a tragedy, and he ends up, see, the more meaning something has, the more pleasure it is. So even though the pain exists, he's able to look at the wider lens and bring some sense of pleasure, if you can call it that, into the experience, because with meaning comes that pleasure.
Amazing. That's a great thing that I want to make sure that we're all hearing clearly. Where the more meaning something has, the more pleasure it has. And so as a result, you're now increasing the meaning and then now contrasting out the pain of it.
That's
Give
right.
us a parting word before, you know, the end of the show. I wanted to make sure that, you know, just leave us with something if you have that how you put this whole together in terms of how you stand up from the fall and some of the things that you're thinking about with that.
Sure. Beautiful. Look, you know, I should give credit where it is properly due.
I think you're on mute. Did you mute yourself? Oh, someone muted you. No. I want to hear what you have to say, but if for some reason, maybe I'm not hearing it. So why don't you go on?
Okay. Let me.
You're back. You're good.
Back?
You're good.
Okay. Fine. So, you know, Rabbi Noach Weinberg's actually was where I learned that from, about, you know, the more meaning something has, the more pleasure it has. So, you know, he gets the credit for that. But, you know, in terms of just a parting message, the rabbis teach us that a righteous person falls 7 times and gets up 7 times. They don't say if he falls. They say when he falls, meaning greatness requires falling down. You just have to get up one more time extra than you fall, and you're going to succeed. We all get banged around, bruised, knocked around to different degrees, but it's the person who gets back up, looks at their goal, and moves forward knowing that Hashem, that God is behind them, like the wind behind their back, are the ones that are going to stay focused and the ones that are going to build momentum and move forward. You have to know also, as Rabbi Noah Weinberg said, is that if God wants you to do something, you know that he's going to help you. And we all have a mission. We all have a purpose. We all have our own spiritual DNA. We are wired to succeed. And we can't do that while we're busy feeling sorry for ourselves. Make the decision. There's nothing more powerful than the decision to move forward and watch what God does for you.
Amazing. Oh, Doctor, you rock. Have a great Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom. Thanks for what you do for our people and for all people. Your wisdom is very much appreciated.
Keep up the great work, Charlie. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Keep shining your light. That was Dr. Lieberman, and he nailed it. What could be a better way to end the show with what he just said, right? Recognize that the feeling sorry for ourselves is really draining our emotional capacity. Everyone falls. Everyone goes through challenge. And maybe that's really what we're getting at here. Remember, one-on-ones, if you want to have a one-on-one, go to 97,000. Remember, this week, Thursday is Tisha B'Av, 6:30 p.m. We'll be doing a live show. Me, Rabbi Yossi Friedman. You can check that out. Go to projectinspire.com for that. And remember, you can go to theshabbatshow.com to see the show again, to see the full interviews, and to watch this live coming next week. So let me just end with this. This, I think for me, the most important piece, or of the most important things that I'm taking from the show, is this idea really is that failure and challenge is not an option. It's part of the package. When the temple was destroyed, that was the new reality. We were going to live in challenge. But the recognition that there's a piece of God inside us, and God's with us. We may not see him as clearly, but he's with us. If we keep on thinking that way and know that there's going to be an end, there's going to be a redemption, there's going to be an end, whether in my family, there'll be an end to this problem, or I'll get somewhere, the ability to find meaning and purpose and to keep on pushing is where the greatness lies. Greatness is not when you stand on the podium and they put the gold medal around your neck. Greatness is when you're on the floor with mud in your face and you find the strength to just pick yourself up. That's greatness. And that's what Shabbat, I think, is about. It's about giving us the perspective, looking back in the week and saying, I will be stronger next week. I'll do it better next week. Looking back at a moment we can breathe and reinforcing that faith and reinforcing that commitment to being better every single week. The Shabbat should be a Shabbat filled with comfort as we enter into maybe the saddest week in the Jewish calendar. It should be a Shabbat filled with wisdom, a Shabbat filled with strength. We should appreciate what we have. We should appreciate the moments where we've been given a gift. Appreciate our gifts. And we should appreciate our challenges. And we should recognize that even if we feel like we can't, we can. Or at least we got to try, because we'll never know until we do. And so for me and mine, to you and yours, I wish you Shabbat Shalom, a good Shabbos. And I hope and pray that next week we do this live in Jerusalem. But if not, with God's help, I hope to get to see you again next week. Shabbat Shalom.
Slow down, my boy. Step out your shoes for once and learn to enjoy all of this world that you've forgotten. When you went out and you lost your way. You lost your way. For every tear you shed. things that you will find in this world that you've forgotten. When you went down and you lost your way, you lost your way. You lost your way. There's a white light up ahead. Don't you listen to what they said or get stuck in your head. 'Cause there's a spark for every tear you shed. There's a white light up ahead. Don't you listen to what they said. Let your light shine instead.